Hello, I'm Ian Rutherford, the founder and president of AquinasandMore.com and CatholicChurchSupply.com. Last time I talked to you about the changes that are coming to the Roman Missal this Advent and mentioned that there are some great resources available to help you prepare for that. Today I'd like to talk specifically about the resources that are available for your parish. These resources are wonderful for doing work groups with your parishioners, for putting out in the pews at Mass, just for handing out before Mass. And they'll make wonderful things that will help the transition this Advent to the new translation of the Roman Missal be a smooth one. This table has a few samples on it, but instead of holding each one up, I'm going to switch over to a presentation where I can show each product and list the different benefits of each one for you. Don't forget, though, that if you want to give us a call and you need a lot of product for your parish, we'll be happy to talk to you about the discount for them or setting up a credit account for you. You can reach us toll-free at 866-428-2820.
Let's take a look at some of the resources that are available for your parish to transition to the new translation this Advent. The first one that we carry is Preparing Your Parish for the Revised Roman Missal. It's a two-part program. It contains information about the translation process, the history behind the translation, the reasons it was translated, and also a timeline for preparing your parish. So it has monthly and weekly suggestions on what your parish can do to get ready. It also contains a sample letter to parishioners that you can put in the bulletin and a sample homily that can be used at Mass. The other neat thing about this series is that it has stories from other parishes about what they've done to get their parish ready for the implementation. So you get some real-life examples of how your parish can use these resources. And then it also contains plans for weekly catechesis. And finally, it has links to resources online, so more articles, other websites, and documents that can help your parish. The second resource that we have is the Parish Guide to Implementing the Roman Missal. This book is produced by the U.S. Bishops' Conference. It contains an implementation calendar, so you can plan for months and weeks before the translation goes into effect. It contains bulletin inserts and homily notes so you can more easily prepare your parish. And it also has suggestions for what the various ministries in your parish can do to get ready for the new translation. This can be especially helpful for your liturgists and your musicians. It also has a resource list for other websites, documents, books that your parish can use to help get ready. Understanding the Revised Mass Text is a program that can be used both in your parish and individually. The Leader's Edition contains background information that explains the reasons for the changes, and the booklet for the individuals contains parallel texts of both the old and the new translation so they can see what's changing and explains why the changes were made. The Leader's Edition can be used in conjunction with this booklet to provide more resources, and also has lesson plans if you want to use the booklet as a class. A new translation for the New Roman Missal is a DVD that contains a presentation by Monsignor Moroni. He was the former head of the U.S. Bishop's Office of Divine Worship and is currently the head of Vox Clara, which was one of the main committees in charge of producing the new translation. The DVD contains interviews with members from Vox Clara and different cardinals and bishops about the translation process, the reasons for the translation, the expected goals of the translation, and other things. It also has an in-depth look at the changes in the Mass by Monsignor Moroni, including all four of the major Eucharistic prayers. The Catechist Companions are short 8-page booklets that are mainly for preparing your catechists for the changes coming in the Missal. Each booklet contains an overview of the translation history, why the changes were made, and a page of suggestions for teaching different age levels about the changes. What's New About the Mass is a program that has a teaching edition and a student workbook. It's for both teens and younger children, and we'll teach them both about the different changes that are happening in the Mass. The nice thing about this program is that the texts were written on the assumption that your kids aren't idiots. They actually do know things, and the the descriptions and explanations aren't watered down. On the other hand, there are some silly activities, collage making, write haikus, write your own creed, but the actual content more than makes up for that. The interesting thing is that the program mentions both the entrance and offertory chants, which you probably won't even hear unless you go to weekday masses. The teen version features teens that are actually well dressed, setting a good example, and the back of the teen version has a quick response smartphone code so they can go online for other videos that talk about the changes that are coming. At the Supper of the Lamb is an in-depth look at the Mass and its history. It was written by Father Paul Turner, who also wrote the program Understanding the New Mass Texts. It studies the history and theology of the Mass and is in a workbook format, so it has lessons and questions in it. So you can do this individually, or you can do it as a group at your parish. A Biblical Walk Through the Mass is a parish program. It has a 4-part DVD or CD lecture series that talks about the theology of the Mass. It's presented by Dr. Edward Sri, who's from the Augustine Institute in Denver. It talks about some of the changes to the translation and why they're being done as well. The starter kit includes the leader's book, one workbook, the full-length book that takes a more detailed look at what is on the DVD or CDs and can be used with the class. There are also separate books and workbooks, and the CD set is available separately as well. Why is the Translation of the Mass Changing is a pamphlet that contains a very brief overview of the different changes that are coming in the Mass. It's great if you want to give out something to the entire parish but don't have a large budget, so it's nice and affordable and does a good job of giving the cliff notes of what's happening. The Revised Translation Holy Cards are in Aquinas and More exclusive. We produce these with permission of the U.S. Bishops' Conference and ICEL. They contain the revised Confiteor, Gloria, Creed, and Sanctus, and they're sold in packs of 100 paper cards with 25 of each different prayer on them. These are another great thing to give out to your parishioners. They can put them in their purses or in their missals. And you can also get these individually laminated. If you purchase an altar missal from us, which are on a discount through the end of July, we'll include a free pack with the purchase, and we'll send that out to you before the missals are available. We also offer pew cards, which are great if you want to leave something in the pew for the parishioners to have. These contain all the major text for the Mass and include some of the changes in bold so they can see what's been changed. There's also a large print available version for these. They come in packs of 50 and they're very affordable. For more information, please go to catholicchurchsupply.com/new translation for more resources and pricing.
You've been watching Behind the Counter, presented by AquinasandMore.com, where good faith is always guaranteed. We invite you to leave comments and suggestions on our YouTube channel. We might read them on the air, so stay tuned next time.